Oh, dire team ban.
That might also easily switch to
Get a lot of space.
a lot of teams have been exploring Huskar counters, and looks like Wings' Huskar counter of choice will be the Viper.
Yeah, but he's not going to survive very long if he's going to get amplified every single time too. That's going to be his other problem.
They don't have that much physical damage though. Huskar puts out a lot more magic than physical, and they have the Oracle too to keep him alive. So that might be pretty nasty. We'll see how this goes.
So a lot of sustain to work with. Let's go quickly through it. Who's going to get the most amount of kills? I want to back the Huskar team straight away.
I'm going with Wings.
You're going to go with Wings?
Wings have looked a lot stronger, and I think they have prepared for the Huskar. Number of trees destroyed. There's a timber saw.
Well, 301 plus easy then.
By 30 minutes? Okay, yeah, sure.
I'm going to go with 301 plus. Total number of deaths by 10 minutes.
I think it's going to be
it looks like a very passive.
What? Are you kidding?
God, they're not going to get into it. They're not going to get into it, man.
What? Okay, I'm going to go 16 plus.
Do it. I'm going to go 11 to 15.
Okay.
Fire Strike already out. PPD. The arrow flies in, and welcome to First Blood. PPD is already going to drop. Not even 42 seconds to the Foghorn.
Passive, Toby.
Hey, I'm happy when I'm wrong on that one. Team with the most runes picked up by the 10-minute mark.
I'm going with
30 seconds until
just a wisp, though.
Yeah, it's how much can Wings really try and
Wings.
contest it. Do they come down every single time to stop the IO?
Yeah, I think they have the Sand King. The Sand King Marana threat is I think, a lot to deal with this early, with like the very long cooldown grave. I'm going with Wings. And they have First Blood. They should secure themselves at minimum one run. Actually, okay, Sumail is actually on the Huskar, and Universe is on the Bat Rider. And
okay.
Bat Rider will be in the safe lane.
And Fear is on the Slaughter. So
okay.
So they run the mid Huskar with the safe lane Universe, and then the off lane Slaughter. They do have a lot of sustain. Like this dual lane between PPD as well as Fear is going to be really hard to kill. And is this Wings also changing their lanes up a bit? Ice is moving up north. Yep, Timber is just TP'd down to the bottom lane. So Wings are already adjusting. They have the Observer Ward on the hillside, which let them see PPD and Fear moving down here, and they've already adjusted.
And in the mid lane, I think the 2-on-2 should favor Viper earlier. However, it's going to be hard for either of them with CS. Wisp, we already see start off with a TP scroll, just in case things get a little bit hairy in that lane or the other lanes.
When you've got Nio in this lane, like Sumail should be able to go ham. Just needs a couple of levels.
Timbersaw really needs level 2 before he can start doing stuff. He went for Whirling Death. He actually missed the Whirling Death for the First Blood, but he is not going to have an easy time to start.
It's a sad thing for Ice when it comes to the lane, and like we've been seeing a lot of Caustic Finale builds arriving for an SK, but he needed the Barrier Strike so they could ensure the First Blood.
Yep.
So he just has to wait out that lane before he can try and zone the bat. Universe can just do it tough for now.
They need to prevent Wisp from getting the runes. It's one of the most important things to winning the Wisp +1 matchup in the mid. Or else, him just getting the bottle charge is very annoying, but him healing up the Huskar for 1.5x, that's like 2.5 runes per rune.
Oh, Sumail, he's really low. He's doing as much as he can. He's still got 2 bottle charges up his sleeve. And Sumail's still got the salve as well, but it is showing the fact that Shadow and Innocence are able to bully Sumail out for now. Give him 2 levels, and that's not going to be the case anymore. It was like the same with Fear. Like Fear actually got really up in the face of Faith, pushing him back underneath his own tier 1 tower, while Universe has a crack on top lane. Marana really low, leaving back behind the tower. Flamebreak actually put him in a really bad position. He was forced to get napalm charges when Universe started that, and he Flamebreaked him into the Firefly.
Level 1 Flame Break plus Napalm does a surprising amount of damage. It catches a lot of people by surprise.
They're going to go again on bottom lane. Quick little poison touch. There's no Timber Chain leveled up here for the Timbersaw, and Fear's Crush well off the mark.
And the Whirling Death. The Whirling Death is important because it reduces Slardar's damage by a decent amount.
You actually wonder if like killing was even on their
Or
mind.
arrow on the top lane. Universe gets nailed after the burrow strike, and that will be second blood.
Wow, nicely done for Wings. Ice actually prepped that one perfectly. He had a double damage rune and did the initial chip damage onto Universe. Then Universe just thought he can come back in again. Pays the price with his life.
And the Wisp TP top to try and prevent that death from happening.
Which opens up Ice to come into the mid. He doesn't actually, he's got stick charges, so he can burrow strike if he comes into the mid lane. And with the Orbs and Sentry down, Wings can be feeling pretty confident that they've got the vision advantage here. Even though, like, during daytime, Sumail has a good wide berth.
If he steps down those stairs, he's on her.
Well, Sumail won't do it, but on bottom lane, Faith initiated on. Fear, well, he keeps the charge going, but 10 reactive armor charges, that's a little bit too much. And Sumail walked down the stairs. They're coming back over, but Ice, he's been chased down by a range creep, and Zai's already made his way back into the mid lane.
He only came into mid just because the Wisp was on his way. Oracle and Io fighting for the bottom rune, and it looks like Oracle might be in a little bit of a pickle.
Yeah, he's going to get flanked. PPD comes in, blocks the stairwell. Innocence can't get up, and then they try and completely block him in with the illusions. But Fear will move over, gets the last hit. Nice for him too, puts him over for 1k gold. That Blink Dagger timing may not be too late.
They're looking pretty decent over here. Huskar does not have that much CS. Sumail is only sitting at 9, and Viper is dominating with 22.
You think this lane, like, they should be able to zone him out more once the other lanes become more perilous? Because then Innocence can't just sit in the mid, right? But then he has to, or else Sumail's going to kill him.
The top lane, I think that's a bigger issue.
They're going again on bottom lane, crush him 1 second time, hits him, actually used the Timber Chain, but Faith still just a little bit too tanky. And they get the rotation in from the Sand King.
Good TP responses by Wings in this early game.
And these lanes, there just seems to be like a bit of a range peppering, but there's still so much sustain.
PPD and Fear trying to wrap around the mid lane and make it a 4-on-2. They do have an observer ward on the south side, but I think this will catch them off guard.
Oh, here they come. Fear running from behind. They're focusing over on Shadow. Sumail, how much damage have you really got with the burning spears and Fear to help them out? They have enough. It's actually Zai who finds the kill, but there's a quick collateral. As Blink was able to arrive at just the right time, and PPD will go down.
Play by Innocence there. He used Fate's Edict on the Huskar, so that kill was actually much more difficult, and they had to commit much closer to the tower and made that 1-4-1. Not terribly great losing the Viper. He also did not spend his unreliable gold prior to dying over there, and looks like Zai will get a free bottle refill with PPD's TP in the middle lane, certainly helping out him and the Huskar.
It's also another bit of a pain in the butt when Sumail, just before that fight started, he used Inner Vitality, and Innocence Fortunes ended it off. So Sumail actually started that fight really, really low too. But no extra support. Universe wants to have another crack up on the top lane with the Blink Lasso. Fear's moved over. He's got the crush for the timing. Remember, they've still got Leap available, but it will not happen in time. So Universe finds himself a kill, quickly TPs himself down to bottom lane so they don't miss out on any of that experience. And this will allow now Fear to farm up on the top.
And he's doing very well in terms of farm. He was at like 23 CS just a few minutes ago, but having help out mid, having help out bot or top lane will slow down his Blink Dagger unless he gets his tower on top, but it's still alive and healthy. Ice trying to lay some deep observer wards, slow down the Blink Dagger timing. He will place it. I'm pretty sure Zai did not see that.
No, he didn't see it. I actually did check the vision. Like, he didn't have any sight around the tree line. But what they did see was the SK TPing down, and they also saw the Oracle moving, thanks to the Dire Observer Wall that's on just to the west of the bot lane. So EG are aware of the rotation of Wings. They just don't know where Ice and Innocence have ended up.
That ward blocked the spawn too, not only scouting it out. And Huskar is still trying to work towards his armlet. Will not be a very fast armlet. This is about the time that you see a free farming Huskar get his armlet. 6-7 minutes.
Smoke move from Ice and Innocence. They'll head up to the top lane. And Fear will have to be tested. They can't just Moonlight Shadow themselves in, however, mainly because the amplification being on Mirana makes this a little bit less of a secret plan. And now, while Ice gets revealed, so does Innocence, the smoke breaks, and Fear is back underneath the tier 1 tower in relative safety.
That was best sense by Slardar over there. It was under nighttime too, so he had only a little bit of time to react. And that's a level 3 Sand King stun that has Tranquil and Windlace, so...
They really want to go for this.
Yeah, I don't think they saw that PPD was there though. PPD popped that reservoir right down, and we'll see Ice retreat back towards the safety of the secret shop.
Confidence from Fear when he can just sprint himself forward, but he's got double amplification up. Alright, so things have remained fairly passive for the start of this game, only 6 kills in 8 minutes. Everyone must be waiting for their critical timings, and what are we looking for as far as timings?
Huskar Armlet is the first one, Blink Dagger on Batrider and or Slaughter is the second one, but it looks like Universe might be going for the drums build with the Windlace and the Bracer in the stash.
That was a really heavy commitment from Wings. It looked like they believed they had Summel when Ice TP'd in. Potentially could have Burrow Strike forward, but it's the top lane where now they're going to go with the amplification into the crush. Mirana, PPD, the Shadow Wave, Peel Bomb. It goes on the Mirana, they've got the turn damage into PPD, find that kill. The Peel wants to go for more. The crush onto Ice. He has to stay in place, but Zai will get another kill. That makes it 3 for the IO out, the 5 that EG have taken.
Got him with his leap down. Nice plays from Fear, though. I think Fear's really keeping his team together in this early game and making plays in all of the lanes and slowing down the Mirana, who was number 1 network leader for quite some time. She was like 3,300 when everyone else was a little above 2,000. Now that's equalized quite a bit, and he's halfway to his Blink Dagger.
Still CS-wise, you can see how Wings are holding control of the lanes, but overall, it's still only maybe 700 gold going the way of Wings net worth. The experience just slipping the way in favor of EG.
And let's see, the Mirana has not really had an opportunity to use Moonlight Shadow, as you mentioned, and EG has an Observer Ward in all 3 of the lanes, so they are actually kind of well prepared for that Batrider with an Invisibility Rune, trying to look out for Shadow.
PPD,
3 Corrosive.
A little bit of trouble, Burrow Strike through into the follow-up arrow. Support's coming over from Universe, but it's way too late. With the Invis Rune, he can't get any kind of follow-up here. Mainly because he's just got no teammates next to him. Sai doesn't have relocate yet, so they can't just drag in Sumail.
Sumail still needs 2 pieces of his armlet, only the Helm of Iron Will and the Gloves of Haste. Universe may be setting up for someone, but he needs someone else to come over. Slardar, no TP. Huskar not interested in leaving that mid lane, so it will just expire.
I think Zai's realized, he's not even attempting to put the stack here. He's realized there's an Observer Ward. Up next to Secret Shop Universe. Okay, he's got Lasso. Fates let him set up a little bit, and now there's your jump in with a relocate. Zai was able to have him.
Nice tome usage by Zai. I think he was just level 5 at...
he was.
Yeah, and then he picked up the tome and then they relocated. That was very unexpected by Wings. Whenever you're playing against Wisp, you constantly pull down the score tab trying to see what level the Wisp is. And they did have eyes on him too, so they didn't even have to do that.
He was standing on top of the Obs Ward and showing the fact that he was level 5.
Yeah, maybe he was trying to next level them. It's like, hey, I'm level 5, guys. I know you see me.
Yeah, we can give him the credit for it at least, even if he didn't intend it. Unintentional awesomeness. Alright, so EG now, just leading by 1 kill. But there's still no map control to be taken. This looks like a big brawler game between Wings and EG just brewing.
I think EG is about to explode though pretty soon. The Blink on the Slardar and the Armlet on the Huskar, I think they could force a fight into the Roche pit, which they should be able to control very well because of the Batrider inside the pit, as well as the threat of the split push and the relocate on the side lanes with the IO. So they can spread Wings up around the map and just take Roche at their leisure. Unless they have a move on the top lane, Fear.
That's what they're looking for. PPD's in the neighborhood, the lead forward into the arrow. Fear will go down. PPD could not get the Shallow off in time, but Universe look for some revenge. He does not have Lasso. It's on cooldown for another 3 seconds. With the 10-1 charges, doesn't commit. 4 heroes from Wings arriving on the top lane.
What a time to kill Slardar. He was just a couple 100 gold away.
Slow down that Blink Dagger.
Yeah, they
and Wings keep chasing. Like, Ice is going in very deep on the Dire jungle.
just want to make sure that they don't have any stacks. Just scouting it out, and now they see a 2.
Found one. Mirana could potentially steal some of that too if he wants to with the arrow, but
You're looking for the juicy 4-5 stacks, Toby.
that would give a lot of money. Always feels very weird when you see a Mirana. Like almost every Mirana we had yesterday was an arcane boot Mirana.
He likes his face, and he also likes. I saw him get like level 2 leap at level 4, something. I don't know. He does strange things down there.
PBD in trouble, gonna self-grave very quickly. The relocate's coming in, however. This will bring Tomasz to the front line. He still doesn't have that armor up just yet, but with the epicenter prepared by Eyesight, the fire strike in. Tomasz in trouble. Zai can't keep him alive. The relocate, it doesn't even have time to end in 2 seconds, but he gets sliced up by the Timbersaw. And Universe and PPD are stuck underneath their tier 1 tower with wings circling like sharks.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
And when they drag the creep wave down, this is now a license to dive. Universe does not have a TP scroll. He's got another 11 seconds till his Firefly comes back off cooldown. And ISI is going to have a look.
Oh, Radiant's bottom tower is under
And
attack.
this is one of the things about wings that I think makes them very strong, is that they overcommit to ganks. It's like, oh, I only see 2 people going on our thousand, we're going to relocate 3, and oh wait, their whole entire team is here. And if Oracle weren't there, that would have just been EG getting 2 very, very easy kills.
We're going to see it again. So Sumail arrives in. Faith very deep in, but by timber-chaining off to the side, he dragged EG into the unfaceable position. But we come back alive as they battle it up in the mid lane. EG again flying up these towers. This time it's the Radiant Tower. With a 2-for-1 trade-off, they bring down the Viper. But Sumail goes down again.
Radiant's tower is under attack.
That was the Blink Dagger reveal up on Fear, trying to look for a +1 as he circles around. However, they do not have an Observer Ward plop down. They don't have good vision behind the tower. In a sense, not in a good spot here.
Fear still doesn't see him though. The vision. Now he'll get a glimpse. Crush up, amplify him, gets an extra bash just for good measure, and PPD will help him out. Innocence looking to deny himself up to the Ancients, but can't reach the golems in time.
Maybe he thought he had a little bit more mana. I was surprised he didn't disarm the Slardar arrow. Misses Slardar by a good margin, and Sumail finally has completed his armlet.
Took a while.
Long time.
And this is like a straight armor too. There's no strength throws behind it. There's no extra items coupling apart from the magic wand. Sumail still needs more time to get some strength behind this Husker, and not just rely on Zai. Even though Zai has still got 4 kills and 1 death to his name, so he's walking around with Urn as well as arcane boots.
And the Dire team is circling around the bottom rune.
Eyesight's coming in. He fire strike on the Diamond Fear right there. Blink crush, but the damage from Faith is so big with the timber chain through. But it's the SK the one to die. Zai had the 1 charges up his sleeve. They regen up nice and quick. And they're circling. Universe, the Flame Break, they're trying to push him back in closer. Sentry Ward down by PPD will reveal Shadow for the rest of Wings. They are all here. It's 5-man style Dota, even though there's 4 of them alive. Sumail, the Life Break is up. Does he want to jump? And who's he jump towards? Faith is the one timber-chaining away, but Fear, a great rush. They hold him there, but then the Sharker, they turn and fight. Faith's been fought a lot more time thanks to the Oracle. He will probably still pop. No, he won't. He actually regens up more than enough underneath the tier 1 tower. And now it's EG who are on the run. Sumail is too low. 1 whirling desert, 1 punch. The Timber finds another kill. They fire strike to the west. They attack to the east. And EG, they are killed all the way across the Radiant jungle. Universe will survive, but EG found themselves way too deep and way too outnumbered.
Oracle is the new hot support. EG had coordinated so well to try and get that kill before the False Promise came out, but he casts it like when they're at 10%. Normally when you're an Oracle player, you're like, oh god, I don't want to cast it before they die. You don't want to cast too early or they won't commit, and you don't want to cast too late or that person is just in the grave. Same with the Dazzle, but the Dazzle has much less of an impact, I feel like, than the Oracle this game.
Yeah.
Mostly because the Huskar has been very weak, but like the Huskar went in really deep, the Slardar went in very deep, and they just got destroyed by that damage from the Timbersaw. My goodness.
EG's going for another hunt. So Fear's gonna have to blink crush this mid lane. They're looking to Shadow. This time around, there's no friends from Wings in the neighborhood. They're TPing over the tier 1 tower, and EG, the fact they're trying to take a leaf out of Wings' book right now. Bring 5 players to every single team fight. Then you should be covered.
Yep, and if they secure this tower, Roshan will be opened up, and maybe Sumail can get a foothold in this game. Yeah, I think that's how you do respond. You're like, okay, well, you guys are going to send 5 Zai in a little bit of danger.
The arrow's going to fly up. He'll avoid it. They're moving over, so Zai's going to tether target.
This Timber's also very farmy, though. He has 12 Bloodstone charges and 6 kills. And it's kind of the dream.
Oh, they're coming to defense. Fear just uses Blink to get back. Defensive weave from PPD. But Wings has brought everybody apart from the Mirana into that mid. Okay, they're not going to... I thought for a moment they were going to go because of the TP timing.
They didn't see the Wisp. I think it's suicide to go on the Huskar when you don't see one of the defensive heroes. They'll just heal him up, he'll be really low and just output a ton of damage while armlet toggling, and then get Graves if he's in severe danger. And now Wings has an added toolkit to their arsenal. The Ag Scepter complete on the Mirana, 19 minutes in. Pretty good timing.
And they're instantly going to put it to work. The smoke maneuver from Wings.
There's been a lot of missed spells. I've just seen Timbersaw miss maybe 4+ Whirling Discs. Missed the chain right there. Not the biggest deal though. PPD out in no man's land.
Ice, point forward, gets the stun, follow up arrow. Zai tried to tether in to save the Dazzle. Well, he wasn't committing relocate with that one. It was more just a tether for heal.
Wings are giving them no chance to secure this roast. They like don't split up and farm when there's an okay opportunity. Like sometimes you'll see teams like, oh, let's push towers. We're stronger than them 5-on-5. But if you push a tower, you like for top tower, for example, you're just gonna be opening that up for them, and they are just trying to gain control of this top side of the map, dropping down deep observer wards.
And they actually were scouting out Batrider farming. Universe may have noticed that, because he was fireflying up, and that's what revealed the SK when he threw down the ward. Because he came out of Moonlight Shadow.
So this Viper's not been super effective. 0-4, trying to work on a Dragonlance, but he's been the front of a lot of the ganks from EG.
Didn't he do his job though, right? Like he was just meant to keep Sumail down in the early stages.
Definitely did that.
Yeah, and with the help of Oracle, like it worked perfectly. EG trying to get aggressive again. This time it's going to be the mid lane. Faith, long timber chain back, former place of his tier 1 tower, so there was no easy jump. And that's thanks to these 2 observer wards mid lane as well as inside the dire jungle. They just see every maneuver.
To be very careful about where they farm out and where they have the reservoir wards. Any one hero can easily die to a blink, Slarva crush, and to a relocate. So, or lasso plus relocate. So there are multiple threats coming out from EG, and Wings have to stay a little bit safe. And EG constantly eyeing for opportunities in each of the 3 lanes.
Well, that observer ward's able to see a little bit. At least get a glimpse of Ice as well as Faith. Fear is now blinking himself away from the mid. But EG are preparing themselves on top lane. Like Universe can TP down at the bottom lane if he really needs to. Universe also did go for that drums into Aetherlands, but he still needs to reach the Blink Dagger.
Oracle hasn't really been waiting for the lasso, and this is generally how you'll see the Batriders play against the hard lasso counter, is just napalming, flame breaking, being super annoying, and just saving your lasso until the perfect moment, which is not at the start of the fight like you normally see Batriders. So I like this from Batrider. This is a mark of a very experienced Batrider player.
They still need a way to get rid of that Oracle early on. Like a good relocate position could do that. Like, Innocence is always at the back lines. You just can't get forward, and even if you think you do, like Ice is always there with an Epicenter lens, so you're gonna find yourself in a world of hurt.
It's also their tank playing very well. Like the Viper, as you mentioned, is doing his job. He's out in front. They have to get past him to get to the Oracle, and they're never like playing super far back. And dying for that reason is pretty decent. So Wings don't fall for the trap of defending the T1 tower on top, although...
Oh, that chain forward. So Mel's going to make a run. We're going to Centaur Warrunner as well. Headed up north.
they trade the bottom T2 for the top T1, which is like even for a T1 for a T1, it would still favor Wings because of the Roshan control. And now they're slowly eliminating the control points that EG has around that. And I think like Huskar not getting Aegis just means like his timer is just gonna expire much sooner. Huskar tends to fall off. I would say maybe 30, 35 plus once heroes start getting BKBs. Not that Wings have any good BKB carriers, but it's still around that time where his magic damage just isn't as strong as it used to be. And like once he dies a lot, and once he doesn't have a good early game, and then compound that with him not getting the Aegis, then the timer becomes 5-10 minutes earlier than normal.
The timer which being flashed up there by Nox, the average game time. I think that's going to be a little bit extended through this series, as both teams, they can still go hammer and tongs at each other, but no one's really looking to go high ground just yet. Right now, EG is just looking to go mid lane. The Observer Ward's down, so they see Shadow. There's support nearby in the form of the Oracle, but Innocence is already backing up, looking like he's preparing to do a small stack, potentially, or they do their own smoke. Yeah, four-man group up, they go for a smoke, top lane, relocates on the way. They're looking for the Mirana, he's worth a lot of money. And PPD is the man to find the kill. There's a full 5-man group to ensure that.
And they're smoking, they found the Wisp.
And they I think they were expecting more than an IO to come back then.
Now they're immediately starting on the Roach with the DD on the Viper. I don't know if EG has wind of this. And they likely don't expect them to do Roach without the Mirana. The Mirana being a much more important hero for Wings than the Wisp to EG, but the damage output from the Viper, it's going down slowly. They actually do not have vision around the pit, but EG will start suspecting something very soon when another hero is shown.
If maybe feels like one Observer Ward from EG in the Radiant jungle, this will be flagging a lot faster, but they put their Observer Ward in the mid lane as well as next to the Radiant Seeker shop, but they're coming in close now. PBD puts down the sentry. Roshan is pretty low, and EG, can they smell the blood in the water? And right now, they're actually going over towards Ancient, while Innocence and Shadow, they're still finishing the job inside the pit. Sentry wards are going down for PPD, but they still don't see inside the pit. Now the Obs ward has been placed. They realize the Obs ward is up, but the Sentry ward, that may reveal enough. Faith moving forward underneath that Sentry, but Roshan, he's going to go down. Viper is the Aegis to the Immortal, and EG, they were backing out. Maybe expected Wings to be attacking in, but either way, Wings just got away with Roshan's murder.
They expected the Timber, like they were playing around the Timbersaw. The Timbersaw showed himself on the bottom lane. He was threatening the T3, and I think they were expecting like a gank wraparound to gank the party that was going to gank the Timbersaw. That's what they were positioned for, and they like that's just not something that you expect. This like Viper lineup doing a Roach with their most farmed hero dead, and that's just very difficult to predict.
It's EG's turn for the wraparound. Yep. They've been prepped up a little bit. They had the Frost Ogre, so there's a little bit of extra cold armor.
And everyone's on the north side.
Ooh, Fear's showing himself. This is a little bit too much obvious bait. So the scouting arrow thrown into the tree lines. It will miss Samael.
But look at Shadow. He's just like, okay, I'm just going to beat on your T2 with my Dragon Lance.
Range is a beautiful thing. So is backdoor regeneration, but he's almost beating it.
There's one melee creep and they ping it out. He is their hero.
Its new tower belongs to Wings. That leaves only one remaining outer tower right now from EG, and that's up on top lane. By the looks of it, not in any position to defend this. In fact, they're already moving down to bottom lane, and Wings, you gotta say, like, they always seem to be in the right place at the right time. Always preparing beforehand. They're making EG look left when they go right.
They don't have a TP on the Mirana though, so it might not be a large-scale engagement. Maybe looking to just stop TPs as they try and defend Wings. Likely looking to collect the last second, but
it's a relocate they have to stop. That's to be the main thing that's going to bring Fear back. But they are arriving in the base, so Shadow starts attacking into the tier 3 tower. Epicenter preparing on bottom. The Baron striking Fear in some out. And a forward from Zayas, not with a relocate. Triggers the mech, but already they've lost the slaughter. Samael has to try and stand his ground. He can't attack for the moment. Innocence has held him at bay in the Moonlight. Shadow, they're playing the invis game, looking for Zay, the Wisp, Iron Spirit, able to slap down the SK, but the damage is just so big from Wings. They bring down all three on the bottom. For the trade-off of the SK and the tier 1 tower.
Oh, it was a pretty good play by Wings right there. They had set up, notice the TP's on the south side too. They didn't see the TP until the BOT was already coming out, and they just thought it was a solo TP. The epicenter comes out on 2. Some misspells here and there. Burrow strike narrowly misses Sumail right here, and he actually ends up paying for it by dying to the Wisp balls, but still, they do get 2 prize heroes, only at the cost of a T1 and a Sand King. Actually, 3 heroes. Well, I wouldn't really call Wisp prized.
Well, considering how many kills I've managed to get during this game, maybe he is. Like that's 7 kills and 4 deaths now on the IO.
They have gotten 2 kills and 1 support. Sumail being the support.
Yeah. That's actually really crazy when you think about it. Like between PPD as well as Zai, yeah, that's not a good stat when you have 5 kills on cores.
Okay, I want this game to go 20 minutes longer so I can see the Oracle Axe. I have never seen it in a competitive game yet.
I don't think that's to go 20 minutes, man. Like, he's only 1k away. With a fall of the mid-racks, he's probably going to have enough money for it.
Do you know what the Axe does? I wouldn't even blame you, because...
Oh,
No?
educate.
Purifying Flames cooldown reduced, I believe, to 1 second. Yeah, 1 second cooldown.
Okay.
It's already pretty low.
Good speed arrowed up. Now, here comes your representative from ISI. Zai got a lot of good regen as she gets to relocate back onto the tier 4 towers, allowing Samel to beat down Innocence. So they brought down the Oracle. Is this what EG needs to defend? Then again, have they got enough sustain for it? There's the kill. The Huskar brings down the SK. That's thanks to the Burning Spears finishing the job. Shadow doesn't really have a lot of mana to work with. He has, however, the Aegis, the Immortal Fear, Blink Crush with the extra bad. They burn through the Aegis. Samel caught the front lines a little bit too far around, but now they can move over towards Shadow. The life break forward, looking for the Viper with the Crush, catching Piranha as well. Piranha dropping low, they get through Shadow. Samel, the Shallow Grave lets him fight, lets him toggle, and looking for even more kills. Got to be wary of that Sharkum, not to mention the Invis battle with the amplification over the Piranha. They know exactly where to go. Blink forward with a chain facing in the middle of EG. Universe perfectly spacing himself so that you are impossible to get faced. Get the damage on him to find the kill. Middle of suicide. I mean, EG don't get to take the full glory, but they defend. They push Wings out. They lose their tier 3 tower. They hold on to their racks.
And that's the TI5 EG right there. That amount of teamwork coming out. Zai with a very clutch relocate, saving Fear from the grips of death.
That was such last minute as well.
And very nice Manta dodge right there too. Dodging the life break, and they were so close to killing so many people. A PvD with the Grave, the armlet toggling, the inner bit, and with the amp to chase. Very tough tail for Wings as they try and make their high ground breach. They do end up getting half damage on the rack and the T3 down, but certainly not worth it. And the hero that bought back was a Huskar, who was already pretty poor to begin with. I'm pretty sure he gained gold out of that buyback, which is actually a pretty rare scenario nowadays with that huge debuff post-buyback.
It's also not great when your half damage was on the melee racks. That thing's regenerating up quickly, and by the time Wings is ready to come back in, it may even be full again.
I don't know if Viper's the best Aegis carrier. He dies the most, but he doesn't seem that useful if he dies twice, because he can't get back in position. Like, he just gets swarmed by the Slaughter and the Huskar. I think the Mirana might actually be her. She does a lot more sustained damage. Viper's like, I don't know. He just seems underwhelming.
She does put herself in a lot more peril with that Aghanims too. Always jumping in. But at the same time, like her last jump in, was met by the crush of Fear. Fear's positioning during these fights has also been amazing. It's going to get even easier now. It's completed up that BKB. So controlling up Fear is pretty much in the hands of the Viper at the moment. Here you got Blink, Force, Gem, Lens on Universe. They'll see a lot of this coming. Zai's walking around with full Greaves on an IO. Wow. Yeah. That's a lot of money on the IO.
A lot of times you don't even see Wisp get boots. Let alone Greaves.
Hey, he's finished the whole thing. And Wings is pushing in through the top lane. They don't have everything with them just yet. They're actually bringing a smoke over. They're going to smoke directly into EG. EG are moving up to get the Blink Rush over on face. The fire strike! It hits on 3! Universe will only be caught out with the follow-up being get an epicenter. Samel will survive thanks to the fall of the shallow grave, but will it be enough? Simon sent two different targets, and Samel just have to toggle his way through this. Impossible when you get burrow struck up by Eyesight. 3 euros lost from EG. Zai will TP out, but unsuccessfully 4 down for the count. They brought down the Viper. EG thought they were going to be the aggressors, but once again, Wings, they bring everybody to gate crash the EG party.
Wow, Ice with that stun. So Slardar had already went on to the Timbersaw, and then right as it happened, he blinks and catches out all the follow-up on top of their main stunner not being able to stop the epicenter. So the Battleriders way too far away to Flame Break or lasso him, and then everyone else is like, I can't stop this epicenter.
That's the abort command. Release it there. EG, get the hell out. There's your Aghanim Scepter. It's over on Innocence now.
Never seen it before. Most oracles would just go for Aether Lens because it's a lot safer and you can stay at range so you don't get lassoed by the Batrider. But this is a nice twist. Let's see how effective it is.
It's the confidence with a capital Wings.
Confidence would be getting Kunkka eggs.
That would be confidence. Just boat it up the boat, and this is it again. A perfect burrow strike into the epicenter. You're looking at Zai and PPD, it's like, what do we do? We'll tether and hold each other, but no one was holding Samael through this.
Yeah, they tried to grave him, but the damage had already been done. Universe, their, I guess maybe secondary damage dealer. Third. Yeah, third.
But this was the weakness you're talking about during the drafting phase. It's like who else is really your damage dealer? You want to put Fear on the front lines with the BKB, he's able to do that, but not in those scenarios, not when you get Burrow Strike initiate. So EG want to be the aggressors, Blink Crush, it doesn't catch the Mirana, but then relocating in, the BKB soaks up the arrow, they're looking for the kill over on Gentleman, in comes Eyesight again, a great epicenter, hitting all of EG, Universal Pop, Innocence is all over it, just purify everybody right now. Eyesight being going to be protected, no Fear backed up with the Blink Crush, he needs to do some work, but right now it's 1 on 3, Innocence is the one he'd like to have, but he just gets shredded apart, the double chakrams, and GG well played. EG will call it at the 35-minute mark. Wow. Wings have just won game number 1 of the 2-game series to kick off their international run.
That was pretty convincing. Thing coming out from Wings, and I would also say pretty convincing coming out from EG too. I don't think that Huskar is in their normal repertoire of heroes, and Sumail, that's not really the type of hero that we think of when we think of Sumail.
Step right up. Maybe it's your lucky day.
If it were their lucky
This is
day,
gonna
they'd
be
be
a
playing my
blast.
game. Maybe if you were raised in a glacier.
Well, whose fault was that?
The wheel says...
It's talking now? You did it! Welcome to our safely nondescript Wheel of Random Reward. This is gonna be a blast.
Maybe if you were raised in a glacier.
Well, whose fault was that?
The wheel says...
Magic talking wheel? Frosty.
Pull the lever and reel in the rewards.
Let's spin the wheel.
If I start you spinning, you won't like what comes next. The wheel says...
Magic talking wheel? You won!
Does anyone lose here? Apart from me?
Welcome to the Wheel of Random Rewards.
Is that your actual spin?
Maybe the wheel got frosted.
The wheel says...
Magic talking wheel? Jackpot! Welcome to Rylai's Wishing It Were Winter Blessing.
Don't reinvent the wheel, just spin it.
I reinvented this wheel personally.
The wheel says...
Magic talking wheel?
Can we go now?
Today's theme is cool treats.
Is that your actual spin?
Maybe the wheel got frosted.
The wheel says...
It's talking now? You did it! Step right up. The greatest attraction in all
You're
of
on the hot
Iceland.
seat.
Stop it! This was supposed to be my thing.
The wheel says...
It's talking now? Ooh.
Just don't burn your fingers. I'm burning with anticipation. Mediocre.
I think it's great.
Fire it up.
Ew, I'd rather not. Do you think they'll like it?
Laguna Matata. Flame on. Mediocre.
I think it's
Fire
great.
it up.
Ew, I'd rather not.
Oh, so close. Let's heat things up. Mediocre.
I think it's great.
Get volatile.
That's not so bad.
No comment. You gotta ask yourself, do I feel lucky? Well, do you?
Melting expectations as always, sis.
Better luck next time. You gotta ask yourself, do I feel lucky? Well, do you?
Melting expectations as always, sis. Do you think they'll like it?
You gotta ask yourself, do I feel lucky? Well, do you?
Melting expectations as always, sis.
What did you expect? Let's heat things up. What did you expect? Some girls just want to watch the world burn. What did you expect? Get volatile.
Do you think they'll like it?
Laguna Matata.
What a terrible phrase.
Flame on. What did you expect? Light it up and burn it down.
That's not so bad.
No comment. Fire it up.
Ew, I'd rather not. That's not so bad.
No comment.
Behold, the crystal wheel.
Did you pay money? Is that your actual spin?
Maybe the wheel got frosted.
The wheel says...
Magic talking wheel?
Can we go now?
Radiant team ban.
Obviously, one of the.
What do you know?
All right. I just don't know if he plays. As we said, it could be a jungle.
Probably jungling at the start. Either that or he's going offlane and
Do you get an
Universe
Iron
is
Talon,
jungling.
or do you just like get treants and get clarities and I don't know?
Either that or Zai could go offlane and maybe Universe Iron Talon jungles. I think both are possible.
Yeah, that's fine
But
too.
Tide is good against Brood, so now EG have two heroes that lane well against the Brood Mother, Timbersaw and Tide.
So you just have to find that matchup, which is exactly what we were talking about. Like one way or another, they're going to try to find this matchup, and one way or another, Alliance will probably try to dodge it. So
Yeah, dodging gets difficult when two of the enemy cores are good against your Brood Mother.
we'll see how things shape up as we jump into the game now. Ake will TP in immediately, smoked up, ready to go, and he's going to try to find a way to place this either a sentry or observer ward down. Probably an observer ward down in the river towards that Roche pit. It looks like he's going to do it towards the tier 1 tower bottom, so he has vision of who's going down to that bottom lane and who is going to be maybe facing the Brood Mother, as it's actually loaded down to that bottom lane.
Oh, Peter.
Another game of casting bloodlust. God. Autocast.
He knows how to entertain his fans.
He's not wrong. You can autocast it, but I'm sure that's probably not what you want to do in a $20 million tournament.
The real joy in playing Ogre is hitting people with your club.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a fun hero. I don't know. Maybe, I guess when you play it so much, you probably start getting them to it.
You just win lates, run around, right-click people, feel good about your life.
Get an Orb of Venom. Really spice up your life if you're Ogre. But
That might be a little too much Sriracha mod. I'm not sure I can handle that. So, looking at the lanes, Fear is going to go mid as the Drow Ranger. Timbersaw will be in the side lane, so Sumel's going there, and it looks like it'll be an off-lane Tide. So unless there's a mid Brood, which there's not, they're going to get a decent matchup versus the Brood Mother.
It looks like it's going to be Sumel for now.
I'm not sure how much this Brood's going to be able to do this game.
Who's that blowing the horn?
It is mid Fear Drow Ranger, so you know.
And the thing
fine.
is, NP can just basically ignore the Brood and not be in the lane. PPD will be that sacrificial 6th position support. And Brood is not... If Brood is hunting Nature's Prophet this deep in the jungle, he's not spending any time in the lane.
Man, he went null tally and double clarity for Zai. That's
this
crazy.
Is maximizing your precision aura efficiency. I don't
does
think
so much damage. 71 actually is going to be the damage that he's dealing in this game.
I don't think he would have gone this build unless there was a Drow in the game. There.
I mean, I don't even think they would have picked Furion had there not been a Drow available for them, or at least they wouldn't have put him in the support position.
Right.
I imagine. This mid lane is probably the most interesting lane due to, of course, a 2v2 essentially, and PPD with Brain Sap can do some damage. Fear obviously very squishy, not much regen, also missing out on his last hits early on in the game.
The one lane that's going to be really bad for EG is the off lane. Skywrath Maze just destroys Tidehunter early. Doesn't care about your Kraken Shell or your Anchor Smash. He's got high base move speed, so you can't even really get in there to Anchor Smash him in the first place if he plays it correctly. He can go back to the jungle, but he hasn't itemized for it. No Stout Shield, no Iron Talon
build. You have to share the jungle as well, except you have the hard camp that you can go to on the secret shop side.
So at some point, EG will probably have to make a lane adjustment where they give the Tide a little more farm, send the Timber off lane, but Universe will have a really shitty laning stage.
Yeah, and we'll see how it goes. Ake has 2 clarities currently. He'll use one of them now, so he has plenty of mana regeneration.
Oh, you bastard.
We'll see how things turn out. Top lane, Bulldog, of course, is actually getting good farm, all things considered. Sumel, the same. Mid lane, of course, the Ignite coming out for PBD, just trying to harass him down, but Fear starting to catch up. He had kind of a rough start, but now sitting to 4 last hits, and he just needs a little bit more space in getting experience and obviously getting items as well.
They're going on Universe bottom, though. This could be the first blood. Mana for that Arcane Bolt coming in very soon.
Very far, but it's the Arcane Bolt that will do the job for Ake as he's out of clarities now, but with that last clarity, he's able to secure the kill. That's very important. Universe will see if he heads back down bottom or maybe to a side lane to the jungle. We'll see. It looks like without the money for an Iron Talon, he'll head to the bottom lane and try to endure more punishment as he gets last hits.
EGM getting a little bottle action here, and he's going to grab a Haster and mod. Haste on Ogre is nothing to sneeze at. They could honestly run somebody down mid if the sleep has already been used. Yeah, but he's actually looking for a courier snipe, I think.
He could go behind and look for the courier. I don't think... Do they need it?
No dire
There's
vision.
another Wraith Band coming out. They don't know that, obviously.
Oh, they see the bottled Haster now, so the ambush will not happen.
PPD was looking for the rune just he's like, well, I'm a little late, but I'll just see if it was taken or not, and of course it was. And Looking at the Furion, he actually gets the Blightstone very early on, another good item to pick up early on into the game. And so that's the thing for EG. They might be in trouble in some of these lanes like bottom, but they can even it up by TPing in a hero.
Dude, he's going to hit so hard.
Yeah.
Ake has 0 base armor.
Yeah.
I think one Sprout and auto attacks just almost straight up kills Ake for full HP. He might actually be able to do it.
Almost a fan of Treads this
He's
game
hitting.
because you already have enough damage.
Yeah, Treads are phased, but it's the Bone 7 build mod. It's coming back.
Double null tally. Maybe
People
even
have
get
been
a full
talking about
tail.
bringing Speed Gaming back, bringing Cloud9 back. Meanwhile, though, they move on mid.
Impressive shot, Arcane Bolt, Ignite as well. There's going to be the Nightmare to save him for the time being. Fear still taking a lot of damage, but no fall. Look at that damage, like you talked about. No armor, and Zai just brings him down.
That's before the next null tally comes in.
God. All right, well, that's that. That's Zai. If he can continue to do that, he's going to have a stellar time as he purchases up another item. I believe it's a stick, probably.
He's
No,
already
it's-
level 4.5. It's not even 4 minutes in.
Null Tally Raindrop is what he's got right now, so he'll even have a bit of mana regeneration, which...
This is going to be like a 1-position profit at the rate he's going.
Yeah, I think so. But again, that's the trade-off, because Universe is getting no farm down bottom. He's got 2 last hits, and he's only level 2.
The thing is, the plan for EG is the Nature's Prophet is going to start moving around and creating space once he hits level, 6 to 7 or so. He'll be taking towers. Then they'll just give the Tide a safer lane or let him go to the jungle. And Universe will be allowed to catch up if they don't put pressure elsewhere and force him to come to fight. So Alliance will have to really take advantage of that window. But if they don't, EG walk into the mid game with a quad core, with a Broodmother who has plenty of heroes to deal with her in fights.
Oh, TP bottom, they're looking for Ake. Again, the concussive shot will come out. The Stormhammer is there, but the Sprout is up, and Ake will try to eat his way through. He will survive. The war cry comes out, and now Zai's in trouble. And actually, Loda's getting turned down here, but that should be the end of it. And again, lucky to have at least a Tango there to eat his way out for Skywrath Mage. It was very close for him to going down. Like you said, it's that war cry helping again.
Yeah, Zai is spending some time here coming to fights, so that's good news for Alliance. He's not purely AFK jungling and maximizing his own farm. They're farming well in the Sven as well as the Broodmother. I like the way Bulldog is playing this lane. He's mostly skipping the creep wave against Sumail. He's not actually trying to come to fights. TPD. Well, Suicide to Roshan. Looks like he already spent his gold, so he just wants that free TP. But yeah, I don't think it's a great Brood game later on. Conceptually, there's just a lot of ways to deal with him. NP can gank him anywhere, kind of like the Bat Rider. And you've got tons of ways to clear the Spider Lane, so... Definitely Alliance for me, who need to get more out of their other cores,
Well,
and
their
need to create
laning
space
phase
now.
is actually going so well. Fear is actually getting out CS'd by S4. You have top lane where Bulldog is out CSing Sumail currently.
And that's against the Drow.
Yeah, I mean, every single lane is going Alliance's way. Despite them losing a hero, First Blood going the way of EG, that doesn't really matter. Zai needs to have a more of an impact, and we'll see what he does. He's picked up as a...
They want Fear mid, not quite yet.
Ignite, he's got Boots of Speed, no treads. Fear will survive for the time being. Obviously very squishy, very susceptible to ganks on that Drow Ranger. EGM will pick up another haste rune, which is kind of insane.
All right, EGM, calm down. You're not supposed to be S4.
He's taking over that role for him because S4's too busy just getting last hits in the lane. Understandably so.
Since when does Dragonite have this good of a lane?
I guess since he's against the Drow.
Yeah, this is very matchup wise, it's actually decent with the Dragon's Blood and the fact that EGM's been giving him so much help. But yeah, normally Dragonite loses his lane and makes up for it elsewhere. But if he's winning his lane mod, that's
a very
concern.
Good sign for Alliance, very bad sign for EG and how they're going to move forward through this game. I mean, Fear. You have really high base damage or not even, you have really high base damage later, but I'll hold that thought. Universe is in trouble, H seal down bottom. They've used the God Strength to keep us coming through. They're looking for a Sprout again. They'll find Ake, they'll eat their way through, this time from Loda using the Quelling Blade. Brain Sap's not enough, they just cannot chase him down. With Boots and Warcry, he is very fast.
Look at Loda, such a team player here, saving the Warcry, and even leveling the Warcry up over the cleave.
Yeah,
that is a very unusual adjustment. You almost always see Spens max cleave first, focus on ancient stacks, even if they don't get a Dominator. One of the games yesterday you and I were casting, there was an Armlet Rush, which is the same build, but this is the Drow counter for Alliance. It's as well as just countering this incredibly scary Nature's Prophet. But hey, you can't Warcry your towers, and he is going to be quickly bringing one down in the bottom lane. S4 looking to do the same mid.
They could TP in with the Ake Skywrath Mage, but that's it right now. They should lose this tier 1 tower bottom, but there's the Nightmare mid as EGM S4 go toe-to-toe. It'll be a trade, and I think the more important tower is Alliance getting the tier 1 tower mid.
It's definitely the more important tower, Mott, and they're looking for something in the mid lane. Can they get in range of Fear? Bulldog joins the fray. This is a very nice move by the Broodmother. Generally, you don't see this move until the tier 1s fall on top. Bulldog may decide to return to pressuring that lane. Sumail has done a good job of keeping this tower healthy. Only about 400 damage done so far.
And for now, Zai and EG's universe will head down bottom looking for Loda this time. Warcry will go again. This time the Gush is up. Quelling Blade immediately. Good treant spawn to body block him, and he's doing it beautifully, but Zai, it's just not enough damage between the two of them. They need more lockdown, and they don't. All they have is Nightmare to set things up like that, and that's the only disable they have until they get Ravaged, and that is it.
Yeah, and the Fiend's Grip, which is still a bit of a ways off for Peter.
Yeah. So again, this early start for Alliance is looking really solid. And even with that cleave not being leveled up, the Warcry is so useful for keeping him and his allies alive.
And he's even going to get an armlet. So now you've got two cores who have insane armor. Dragon Knight also, with the level 2 Dragon Blood, will max it before the stun and just finish leveling up the Breathe Fire. And it's not going to be easy to kill these heroes with physical damage. It really feels like Timbersaw will have to, along with the Nature's Prophet, that will be the main damage that EG bring to bear in these upcoming fights.
Yeah, and, well, Sumail, he does have good net worth. Again, Bulldog outlaning him just by sheer virtue of...
But there is a Skywrath, and there's 3 pretty good stuns. Dragon Tail, Sven stun, and the Ogre stun. Alliance converging on top. They are smoked up.
But they might lose heroes because there's the agency on one. Zai's already backed out, and Sumail is going to fall almost instantly.
Skywrath just destroys Timbersaw.
Oh, they killed Zai as well. He just got caught by Bulldog on the backside, flanking through, and that is plenty of damage when he pops the Insatiable Hunger. That's 2 dead for a tier 1 tower trade, and I'm sure that's not worth it for EG.
Alliance doing a really good job at collapsing on the top lane. Now they transition into a tower push. They are going to hold the mid lane. Fear will be denied his split push. What's scary for EG right now is S4 will likely get his first initiation item soon, either a Blink Dagger or Shadow Blade.
He's about to have it.
And if he wants a Blink, he does almost have it now. And once he gets that, can't really split push as a Drow Ranger. Even a Nature's Prophet will have to be careful. And if that Blink Dragon Tail leads into an Arcane Seal, Sumail's gonna die. So
yeah, we've seen Blink Dragon Tail do work the games we've casted so far with DK in it. And
Ancient Seal, sorry.
We'll see how things turn out. Again, I liked the choice of Zai picking up this Nature's Prophet, going to the jungle with a Drow Ranger Precision Aura, but it's just not doing nearly enough right now. They have the potential to come back into the game. They have a pretty good late game lineup, although they are getting suspended at DK. For now, though, it's looking troublesome as EG and Tidehunter. He's just trying to find any sort of gold at this point as he's level 7 now with Ravage up and ready. This might be where they can start doing some work. And what else is happening?
But at the same time, S4 grabs the Blink. I do want to mention that whenever you see a Nature's Prophet this early in the game cliff jungling, it's generally not a great sign for that team.
Yeah, probably not.
Zai had a really strong early impact, but consistently went for the Skywrath mage bottom, and Tangos were always up on Ake, and then they always saved the Warcry for that gank. And as a result, they weren't able to snowball. They only got the 1 kill, and then he got shut down afterwards.
Again, it's the Quelling Blade, it's the Tangos to get out of the Sprout. They just don't have enough disables right now is the problem.
Notice even EGM's holding onto a Tango. Won't be surprised if Ake buys more or gets his own Quelling Blade. Granted, money is at a premium for him.
It's a tale of 2 stories. I mean, you have one team with great lockdown and very good early game damage, and you have another team with very good early game damage, but just no lockdown whatsoever. It's a nightmare, and again, what we talked about already is the Sprout or Gush, but that's really nothing.
The worry here for EG a bit is that they are letting... They may just flat out lose in a farm war. You've got a Midas already on Bulldog, closing on Echo Saber. Sven will flash farm, now has the max straight cleave, but only for the 3 points in Warcry. And Dragon Knight's good at clearing ancient stacks and stacks in general, so I think if it comes to a farm war, very likely Alliance come out on top there.
Yeah, I think so too.
EG may, to me, they need to be finding fights with the Ravage, with the Fiend's Grip, which they have now, but although they see Loda bottom, there's 3 heroes missing, Mott. This is a risky maneuver, but they're going to go for it.
Alliance are looking for their first big fight of the game after taking that engagement top lane. Sumail might be the target, picked up his point booster as his Bloodstone recipe as well, but it might be delayed if he gets caught by S4 with a Blink
and he's
initiation.
He's got the Dragon Tail ready to go. He finds him.
And there's the Mystic Flare on top of the Ancient Seal, and that is a dead Timber. He dies fast, and he's dead for 42 as well. It just goes to show that Sumail was farming well, is up in experience, but he dies so quickly to Ancient Seal with any other real magic damage.
700 damage. Well, EG might have thought that they had the lane counters for a Broodmother, but Alliance, they've got the mid-game counters to completely shut down Timbersaw. You can even shut down Tidehunter. Just Ancient Seal him and then ignore him in the fights.
Yeah.
He won't be a factor.
I think you could crack and shell it off, but
only if you take the damage.
Right,
so.
exactly. That's the problem.
And Alliance are running BKB carries. Loda will eventually get a BKB. Dragon Knight will get one.
Now, I think he's going to get Echo Saber first. I mean, he definitely should, but...
It'll be Echo likely, but then BKB coming very shortly thereafter.
You don't really want to get BKBs too early on in the game and at some points in time, but in this situation right now, Loda has farmed extraordinarily well. How nervous are you for EG at this point in time, LD? Because they're currently, right now, 3,000 gold behind.
I think I'm extremely nervous. They have no map control. Their tier 1 has fallen top, which means Brood can invade the jungle. There's also aggressive Radiant Wards right now scouting EG's movements and rotations. Timber needs a ton of farm. Sumail has to get a Bloodstone and a Yule Scepter before he can deal with the Skywrath. Even then, there's heavy physical burst damage later on to control him. So Nature's Prophet then split pushing becomes the ideal solution, but the issue is you've got a Blink Dragon Knight, so he can just catch Zai and punish him, which is why we see Zai clip juggling. EG are very limited in terms of options overall this game, and I think Alliance are... It's even more than the gold advantage. They're farther ahead than it seems. The way back in for EG is finding a really good team fight with Ravage. To do that, you'd like to have Vision, which they have a decent amount of, and you need to get the jump, but they don't have a Blink on Tide, so they may have to go for a bait play, try to convince Alliance to come in too deep, and here's that opportunity, Mott. They're sieging.
They're going to go for it. Universe Smoke will break now. They'll back up seeing the Tidehunter under the tower. They want to be careful. They're going to TP away. No, Fear has been caught, and they will find a stun with S4. There's the Stormhammer. Fear will immediately die. He was behind enemy lines.
Bulldog looking to collapse on the tower.
They should get this. EG should back up. I don't think you can contest this 4 versus 5. Even with Ravage.
There they go.
S4 jumps in. He finds the stun of the Universe. Ravage available. They hit him onto everyone, but they don't have the damage. The Ancient Seals him on his fail. He will fall. He's dead for 10. I'm going to net Bloodstone, but Universe trying to TP out. I do not think he'll make it away, but he was so close. He gets the cleave off from Loda. We'll get the kill, and now PBD is next. Will end up falling. 4 kills going the way of Evil Geniuses, and S4 finds a double. Alliance, wow, do they look good. They might be in position to 2-0 this series.
They are in complete control now. Roshan is next. Alliance getting split push slightly, but it's only a Dragonlance Nature's Prophet. He might take a tier 2, but if that's the least important tier 2 in the game for Alliance, so if they want, they can potentially go Roche. Zai is expecting them to go Roche, so that's why he's split pushing, but he was wrong. There's a Dragon Tail.
They're going to try to wait. He could try to TP after this. They need more, and then EGM is here to... He says Zai can't TP anymore now. He
holds onto his Fire Blast, and he is going to get in range. Great play by EGM, but I think Zai still maybe gets out Dragon Tail.
Not there in time. He
had it for like a quarter of a second.
It was very close, and that's just Zai lucky to be alive right now, pulling 2 of the heroes over to the top lane, at least doing something, but it's not much. I mean, at this point, after that fight, there is a 7,500 net worth advantage going the way of Alliance. And the experience is not much better either. 5,000 experience going the way of Alliance as well. So for EG, they have to find more farm. They have to find maybe a better fight. But now this is where it gets tricky, as I think Alliance, they might invest in the gem soon and just start taking over map control, as well as Roshan.
Yeah, Ravage likely to cool down before the next fight. Universe will get a mech, but the level of items coming out for Alliance is just that next tier. Loda, already Armlet, Echo Saber, and Blink. BKB almost certainly to come after this, and then how do you deal with him? Timbersaw can't kill him. Warcry means that you just shrug off any right clicks that the Drow brings to bear, and you can't even control him with the Ravage. So, well, Mott, then you'd normally say, oh, we'll just sprout him. We'll just give him the Arteezy treatment, but they can't even do that because he's got a Quelling Blade.
Yeah, and
there will be no counter for Loda aside from just running the hell away.
Yep.
And that's just Loda. That's not even counting Bulldog. That's not accounting for the Dragon Knight, who also has his own armlet. Alliance are incredibly in control of this
We
game.
haven't talked much about Bulldog, but he's in the same position he was in last game. He has his Echo Saber, he's got an early Midas, he's picked up an Ogre Club for a potential BKB. The NECA isn't even done yet for Universe, so if you compare offlaners, it looks awful. But yeah, this is the biggest problem right now, is that even without Armlet, if they're going just on S4, guess what? He's got Dragon's Blood as well as an Armlet. Everyone is so tanky. They really can't bring anybody down with this actual physical damage from EG, but they'll try.
They're smoked, but this is right before the mech timing.
Are they going to head Roche?
It's a really awkward time for EG.
If they go Roche, it's kind of obvious, I think, for Alliance to scout that out.
And Alliance already have a ward near the pit. If anyone from EG allows the smoke to break, it will be scouted anyway. I don't think EG can try for a Roshan play. That's too risky. There's always Spiderling scouting, and there's a web near the pit.
Like, he's setting in one now. He'll continue to do this. Bulldog being very diligent with, of course, his broodlings, and that's great. So it's just back to farming that. I don't know what that smoke accomplished. I don't think they got any wards down for EG, unfortunately, and that's just the story of this game right now, isn't it, LD?
Meanwhile, Alliance rushing in. They've scouted out Universe. Can they force out that Ravage? If not, he may just get solo killed by S4 with right clicks, bringing him down quickly.
They won't dive. They have a severe advantage, a distinct advantage, but they won't die.
Brood has BKB already, so she is also essentially invulnerable in these fights.
But that's
if
another.
She gets it off.
This is another issue. I mean, Alliance.
She's going in.
It's done on the 2. Ravage will come out, but Subail, Mystic Flare coming in. He's about to fall, and will. Zai will TP, but it's already too late as EG are getting routed. LD.
They have no chance. Completely forced back. Bulldog lane in the Universe. Gets up the Echo Saber cross. A blink forward on his eye. 4. Make it 5. EG gets taken out.
It's GG. My God.
Oloda ends it with an ultra kill, and with this win, Alliance have scrapped and clawed their way back from a terrible day 1 start. I think it was 2 and 4. It was almost worse. And they are in the upper bracket. TNC, regardless of the result in the game that they were previously playing, it's not going to matter. Such a great showing by TNC, but still down to the lower bracket they go. So in the end, OG, EG, and Wings pull it out. Probably the favorites coming into this group. Maybe biggest surprises, probably Na'Vi before the group stage started. LGD after day 1, they looked really good, taking game off OG. But Mott, I don't think many people had Alliance in their top 4. They looked very shaky coming into this event.